Hey guys, it's Tage, and I am back with another tier video. I really had fun making the last few, so I decided, you know what, we'll do one for Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is pretty popular, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. And speaking of opinions, before I get started, I just want to let you guys know this is just for fun. I'm not coming for anybody's favorite character. So if they get a lower ranking or you don't agree with my ranking, just move along. Or you can tell me about it in the comments. I really don't care. Just don't be nasty about it. But yeah, definitely feel free to tell me about your comments in the video of like who you thought should have been higher, who should have been lower on your list. If you guys could hit that like button for me, I would be so appreciative. Also, to get more content from me, feel free to subscribe, and to get updates when I post new videos, hit that bell. Ding. All right. We're going to go in straight out of the gate. We are doing a Survivor's version. I am a killer main. I usually do not play Survivor, although I did in the beginning. I just kind of found the killer road to be more fun, more exciting. Albeit sometimes, you wonder why you even play killer because how some of the survivors act. That being said, though, I really enjoyed playing the killer. They've got a lot of interesting characters, but I also have a lot of opinions on survivors. Now, some of these I am pretty new to and I haven't really run into much, so you might see me give them a rating just based on the character themselves. And really, the tier list is just my opinion. It's not whether they're good, whether they're bad, to play as more as my opinion on their overall design and basically how I've come up against them in a match. Mainly that. It's generally how people have acted as these characters and have morphed my opinion on the character. Doesn't mean that they've completely ruined them. Some of them I'm just like, oh, this character. I'm sure a lot of you can relate in that sense that you see that one character, you're just like shaking my fist. Wah! Because you know that you're going to probably in for a time based on past experiences. And as far as my rating goes, obviously the top is the highest. From all my love, Odd Affection is just simply, I really like this character. It's just like, oh, I see you. I'm like, I like you. I really like you. Indifference is usually it's going to be reserved for characters that I don't really exactly have an opinion on, or I've not played enough against to really be able to judge them properly. Oof is like, yeah, you're annoying. You're annoying. You're very annoying. And a pain in the memory is like, I really, really do not like you. Okay, so first up is Jonathan. From Stranger Things, I've not run into him very much, honestly, so I don't really have an opinion on him as a survivor, but I really do love him in the show. So we're going to bump him to Odd Affection just because I already love him in the show, so that's probably showing me some biases. But as far as matches go, I've not really run into him. Not a lot of people use him, which is a shame. All right, so moving past that, we've got Dwight. Dwight, he can be either a really good asset to the team or a really annoying pain in the butt. Like, he could just keep to himself. I've had Dwights keep to themselves in matches. They do their gins, they come in and save when they can, or they will be the distraction. An annoying distraction at that. They will be the look at me, look at me, look at me, over here, over here, over here kind of character. And flashlighting you, trying to jump in and out of windows, making the dumbest little moves ever just to get you on them so you will get off the survivor you're chasing. For that, they're very loud characters and they can be downright annoying. Pizza Dwight, flashback. He still gets an oof from me. Despite everything else, he still gets an oof. Pizza Dwight, I'm looking at you. Okay, next up we have Meg. Meg is an interesting character. I really like her character overall, but in matches she is heck of annoying. She can be everything that Dwight is, but she can also be more. More on the pain in the butt side. She will run you, she'll go through windows, left, right, everywhere. Honestly, the endless looping. Most Megs I've run against are good at looping. But some Megs decide to go the extra mile sometimes. They can be really good with flashlight saves. They can be really good with body blocking. Oh my gosh, body blocking, such a peeve of mine. But that being said, some of them are just a pain in my side. I don't really like seeing Megs in the lobby, though Meg is in my lobby more often than not. Because I never know how it's going to go. They could just be doing their objectives. They could be, on point, getting in there, getting their stuff done, helping other people out and stuff like that. Or they could really just get really greedy with a save and unhook right in front of you. I have noticed the unhooking right in front of you is really annoying. Because, and I'm not talking about, someone who's face scamming or anything like that. I'm talking about, you've barely put this person on the hook. You haven't even had a chance to walk away. And this Meg will come in and just oh, yep, save. And I'm just like, hello? I have not even taken 2 steps away. Give me a chance to get away from the hook, please? For that, Meg definitely goes on the oof train. She is really super annoying. Even more so than Dwight, honestly. Next up, we have Claudette. Blendette. Claudie. She's got many names. She's infamous. And the players have made her infamous. I think personally she's just like a sweet little character that some people have decided just to corrupt and make her so toxic. Like, a lot of Claudettes are toxic. Not all Claudettes, mind you. But because I've seen some really good, just very savvy, very dedicated to helping their teammates Claudettes. But I've also had and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have also had some Claudettes that are just out to make your day that much harder. they go hard. The flashlight saves, the unhooking right in front of you, the taking the hook down in front of you. Not even give it a day. You might as well just go to the other side of the map sometimes when you get 4-man Claudettes. They're there to just be one big entity. Heck, Claudette for entity. Because they are such a pain. They are the true mastermind. People say it's Nia, but I don't agree. I think it's Claudette. That being said, I do have an odd affection for Claudette. I do really like Claudette. It's just the player base have really kind of ruined her for me in the sense of how I see the character. She's got some gorgeous cosmetics and everything like that, and I love her overall as a character, but people are just, the way they use her is just oh. It's obviously it's your game, but you don't have to go the way to be a jerk, but there's a lot of people who play her that are really jerks, so I'm just oof. I also have some pretty bad DBD flashbacks of pink cardigan 4-man Claudette. Not good. They are in your face, loud, proud, and here to take you down. So for that, I'm so sorry, Claudia, but you get a pain in the membrane rating. Okay, next up is Jake. I really like Jake. Jake is a really good character. He's very stealthy. Most players, when they play him stealthily. But most. Albeit I've had a few interesting Jakes, and I'm always surprised when I see one that's being a little bit bolder than usual, because most of them are very stealthy. They're generally the guy that goes in and will do your generators and come in occasionally for the save if they think it's safe. They're generally good players, and I really like Jake. Having a good Jake on your team is always good to have. Not having the annoying Jakes that will literally jump in and out of lockers and do all the other stuff that most people do, will usually destroy a team real fast, because it's better when you have a Jake that is on gens. You want Jake on gens. He's really good on gens. Otherwise, it can be a real pain in the deck. Because he can pop out gens like it's nobody's business. I've noticed, 4-man Jakes, or even having 1 or 2 Jakes on your team, you're gonna get gens done a lot faster if they're focused on gens and not just running the killer. So for that, Jake gets a odd affection rating in front of Jonathan, because I really, really do like him a lot, and he's a really good character. Next up, we have Nia. I have a love-hate relationship with Nia. I love the character so much. Some of the people that play her can be a bit much, but they're a good distraction character, obviously, and she has a lot of awesome skins, I think. But that being said, yeah, she's with some of my experiences and stuff like that, she's still gonna get an oof. I am finding out that Dwight is less of an oof on the scale of oofness. Next up, we have Lori. I'm not really a fan of people who play Lori. They are very trolly, very quick to flashlight, very quick to flashlight. And obviously, like, flashlight, I'm not saying that flashlight mechanics are bad or anything like that. They're in the game for a reason, right? It's just, it gets really annoying when you just hear that click in the background. And you better hope that you have the right direction because, oh boy, you're gonna lose that survivor real quick if you do not do what you need to do. Looking up, looking down, looking towards the wall. But yeah, no, I've had a lot of troll Loris, which is sad because I really like Lori as a character, albeit I'm not really crazy about the design that Behavior went with. Although there's probably a reason for why they went with the design that they did, but I'm not super crazy about it. It doesn't really look like Lori. But yeah, Lori's getting a big old oof for me. Probably in front of Nia, honestly. Right next to Meg. Next up, we have Ace. And I'm going to already tell you guys, he's going in the pain in the membrane area because I have had so many jerky Aces. They play him like I see him. Like, he's a very, like, snarky. That sneer just automatically makes me mad. He's so annoying. And he's very loud and rude and like that's just the overall appearance. But also, a lot of people play him as a jerk. I've noticed. I've come across a lot of jerky aces. I'm like, oh yeah, you saw that snare and you ran with it. You're like, I shall be a butthole today, like to jump in lockers in front of you. And if they're not quick enough, they end up on the hook. Or they'll get cocky with their saves. Every little move that they make is very, very cocky. They're like, or they'll swagger, or I swear they'll be walking across the board like they're God's gift to the world. And they will just be walking just casually. It's got this little swag little walk that they do, and I'm just like, oh, you're gonna be fun. It's always interesting. I'm just like, you just don't care, do you? This map might as well be just your playground and you own it. You already know you own it. Next up, we have Bill. Bill characters can be divided up into two factions, really, for me. He can be really helpful to his team. He can, definitely take a hit. Like, he can come in and just, like, take that hit for that survivor that's already hurt. They can basically be a rescuer and stuff like that. Very good, very stealthy, very, like, team player. But on the other side, they can also be incredibly agitating. I've run against bills that just they want your attention. They want to go out of their way to make sure that you're paying attention to them. I mean, I don't know if it's because they're old and they want somebody to pay attention to Grandpa. I don't know. In your face shaking their booty at you kind of thing. I feel like if Dead by Daylight had booty shakes, you'd see a lot of these people just... I guess that's what the teabag's for, right? So he gets a big oof. And he gets next to Meg. Like, even in front of Lori. Next up, we have Fang. Okay, so I really love Fang. Like, hands down. Absolutely love her. Like, when I started playing Dead by Daylight, I was first, like, playing Survivor and only Survivor. I really liked her character, and I really enjoyed her, like, backstory. Like, a pro gamer, that I thought that was, like, super cool. I think that was back when esports was just becoming a thing. Like, I think it's always been a thing, for a good bit. But, like, on a bigger scale, like, more people were, like, seeing it as an actual sport, kind of. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And I really got attached to Fang as a character. Now that I don't play her as much, I see Fang's being either the really good coder like Jake, or they're the character that's always in the locker. Oh my gosh, I love this baby so much, but the amount of times I have found a Fang in the locker next to a generator, I've lost count. I've ran out of fingers and toes to count. If Fang is not out in the open doing generators or running from the killer, she is likely in a locker. No two ways about it. She is probably in that locker. She just set up shop and she's got comfy in there. But that being said, I really do like. So for that, she gets the first spot of all my love. She is an S tier character in my heart, and I absolutely adore her and would go back to playing her absolutely if I decided to stop being a killer main, which I don't think I will be. All right, next up we have David. And I don't know why I just sung that, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. But oh my gosh, his perk. I can't freaking remember which one it is, but whatever the perk is, that makes it harder for you, like harder for you, the killers, to move. It's so annoying when it's applied to any character. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 100% sure that it's his perk that I don't like it. It's like, it literally makes it hard to move towards the hook. And obviously, it's a perk in the game, use it as will, at will. But oh my gosh, it is such a pain in the membrane for sure. It's like walking through quicksand trying to get over to that hook, and you're just like, oh god, they're gonna get off anytime. They're gonna get off anytime. That being said, though, I don't really have like a super like bad opinion of David or anything, or a super good opinion of David. I'm very indifferent to him as a character, but I've not had any super like horrible experiences with David. But yeah, and also congratulations to him for coming out as the first queer character in DBD. I am sure there are likely more, and I'm looking forward to Behavior announcing more in the future. And Quentin. Yeah, I don't like Quentin. I don't see him often, and I really hate what they did with his model. I feel like he just doesn't look like how he's intended at all. I would have preferred if they'd gone with the one in the remake. Because he just looks like a completely different character, and I realize Behavior was probably stipulations that was put on them, so I'm not blaming them. I just don't really like his look. I don't see as many Quentin players as I used to, but the ones that I have run into are usually there's something else. Let me tell you, I've run into a lot of like rude people playing Quentin. I feel like it's like flashlighting just a flashlight for the sake of it, rather than actually trying to get away. And that's always been my kind of annoyance, is when you're just using a flashlight just to use it. You're just annoying the killer. You're not even trying to get away. You're going out of your way to just be a pest. And I've seen a lot of Quentins do this, unfortunately, even though like I was really looking forward to seeing people play him, and the way they played him was a little disappointing. So it's just like, oh, why'd you have to be a jerk while playing this character? I really like this character. But that being said, I don't see him very much anymore. Not a lot of people play him. I mean, to be fair, there's so many characters in the game, so there's been some characters who don't get played as much. So not a lot of people play him anymore. So we are going to give him an oof, and we will give him probably in between Lori and Nia. I really like Tab as a character in Saw, but I'm a bit more like on the fence when it comes to people who've played him. People or either tend to generally just try to be very helpful when they're playing Tab. They'll try to go out of their way to save you, or they're just really stealthy characters. You're either going to immediately see them, or you're not going to see them at all. It's kind of like there's no in between, at least in the matches that I have played. So for that, I am going to put Tap in the indifferent bubble. Okay, next up, Kate. I like her overall design. I think she was like the first like super kind of glamour character, if you will, that we got, and I thought she was really cool looking. And also she came with a clown who is like, was really terrifying, honestly, to look at. Just very gross and grotesque and stuff like that. I felt like they did kind of like a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing, just not on like the Disney level scale. I do generally like seeing Kate's in my lobby. They always have some really good cosmetics, and I love cosmetics. It's really fun to see what people like use or what they have. And they're really good loopers. Really good loopers. I do respect a good loop, especially when, like, you think you're going to get them, and then suddenly they've looped you, and you're just like, oh, dang, that's a really good loop. That was going to be very frustrating if you basically have tried to get them, and every time you've tried to get them, they just figure a way out. But it's impressive at the same time. So for that, I am going to rate her an odd affection. Jeff will be next. I really actually like Jeff. Jeff is a really cool character. He has some really metal skins. Like, they did a really good job with his cosmetics. Like, I'm just like, oh man, it's so cool. It's really neat with what they come up with. I like a lot of his more edgier styles. It's just really, I love to see it, honestly. And generally, the Jeffs that do come in my lobby, they're pretty chill, they're pretty cool. So for that, Jeff is also going to get on the odd affection scale in front of Kate, but not in front of Jake, because Jake so far is still at the top of the leaderboard right there. And Jane. I really like Jane. Jane is a fun character. I really like how she definitely has a different body type. She's very full, very lush lady. She has a lot of nice skins too. Jane in general, she's like a joy to play against, honestly. I really like playing against Jane's. She's very fun, and I thought that her perk with like coming out of the locker was going to be annoying in the beginning, because I'm like, oh great, now people are going to use lockers even further against killers. I remember thinking that, but it got used a little bit, but I don't see it as much anymore. And a lot of people that I've seen use it don't quite pull it off, because it's all about precise timing. So it doesn't really get used as much as I thought it was going to. But that being said, I really don't have anything really bad to say about Jane. Jane's players are really fun to go against, and she's just a joy on the map, honestly. And for that, she is also going to get on the odd affection scale. Okay, next up we have Ashley. I actually honestly only knew a little bit about Evil Dead, and I've actually never watched the movies or anything. So I was kind of surprised that they did this crossover to begin with, because like he's pretty well known, definitely in the older generation and stuff like that, from what I know. And I just didn't know much about the franchise itself. Maybe I need to get around to watching it. And I'm kind of curious about the new game that they recently produced for the Evil Dead and see if it's any fun to play. Ashley is another character who is kind of like Ace in the sense of they're very snarky. They play their character as intended. Because I'm pretty sure Ashley from the Evil Dead, from what I've heard, is pretty snarky, and he's very mouthy, so to say. And I feel these people who play them are very mouthy. I've run into some good ones who basically essentially they'll go in and they'll save their teammates, or they really take one for the team and stuff like that, which is always nice to see too. But I mainly see them as big snark lords. That's the best way to describe it. Big snark lords. So for that, he gets to go on pain in the membrane scale, because I get so annoyed with they are basically play him like the character. They're like, I'm loud, I'm proud, and I'm not going away. Next up we have Nancy from Stranger Things. I think they did okay with like the model design. Like in the beginning it looked a little rough, but I'm not for sure, so don't quote me. I think they reworked her a little bit to look a little bit better. But in the beginning she looked a little bit oof. I don't really hate or like love Nancy. I've ran across, both sides of she's either, doing gens and just focusing on that, or she's in your face, kind of like it's kind of like a no two-way street. But I don't typically dislike her. So I can easily say that she's like a different character for me. Steve, on the other hand. Oh boy, I have opinions. Okay, so they did really good with the character model, I think. They did like way better than they did with Nancy. I feel like they did really good with him. And also, Steve has a very distinct face. His actor has a very distinct face. So it's I think it's a little bit easier to get on point. Oh my god. People who play Steve are very, very bold. I've noticed they are very, like, fearless most of the time. They will be in your face. They are the loop lords. Round and round and you go. They find a car. There Steve goes. But yeah, they're using every bit of that map, and honestly, it's kind of commendable in a way, but also very annoying. And a lot of the time they would be in the Scoops Ahoy costume, and I I came up with like a little bit of an amusing slash interesting nickname for him because I would see the Scoops Ahoy Steve more than anything. It was like for so long, it was always Scoops Ahoy Steve. Sometimes a 4-man party of Scoops Ahoy Steve. So whenever they would be completely trolly, I got, and which was a lot of the time, mind you, I would call them Scoops a bitch. It's like, come here, Scoops a bitch. They could be downright vexing for sure, but at the same time, I do have an odd affection for Steve players. So like honestly, they could go in either category, odd affection or pain in the membrane for me, because I've experienced both. But most of the time, it's more of the negative. But like, I have this odd affection for him, so like he gets lucky. He gets to be up here. So he gets to be next to Jane. Next to Jane. Next up, we have Yuri. I really like Yuri. Like her overall design was really cool. I remember like really being like, oh yeah, she's awesome looking. I can't wait to see her in game. I see her quite a bit, but at the same time, not enough. I wish more people played her because she looks really dope as a character, and I think that it was really kind of like a nice balance to release her alongside the Oni. But yeah, I don't really have like a super lot to go off of at the same time because most of the time they're usually just running you across the map. They're really good at running killers and stuff like that, and but they're not overly annoying. So honestly, like I don't have like a lot to go on, even though I do see them quite a bit more than most of the indifferent characters that will be on the list. She has to go in the indifferent category because like I don't like it's not like I overly love her or overly hate her. Like I do really like her as a character, but I've just not seen enough of her in game at the same time to really give the full scope of how I feel. Because like I'm like, oh yeah, Yui. Like I like seeing her in my lobby. Next up, I think her name is Zarina. Zarina or Zara. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Honestly, I don't really see her much in my lobby. Like, even when she first came out, people just didn't play her very much, which is a shame because she's a badass character. I absolutely love her design. She's a really badass character. I really love her design, and so it's a shame when I don't see a lot of people playing her because I'm like, oh, this is a really cool character. I wish I'd see her more in my lobbies, but I just don't, and I don't really have a lot to go off of. So technically, normally she'd get like indifferent because I've not really played much, but because I really like her overall design and stuff like that, she definitely gets like an odd affection for me because I really do like her. I like seeing her there, and she's just generally just a cool character, honestly. Next up, we have Cheryl. Honestly, love Silent Hill 3. It was one of my favorites next to 2. Those two kind of like are like the best Silent Hill games in my opinion. I was never able to play the first game, unfortunately. It would even on the PlayStation 3, it just never wanted to work. I'm kind of hoping eventually they will remaster and re-release it because I'd like to play it someday. Or just fix the original copy that was ported for the PS3, put it on the PS5, PS4, and let us play it. But like fix those bugs because it made it very unplayable. That being said, I like because I'm such a fan of Silent Hill, like I am going to be rating this very high. Cheryl gets top of the list next to Fang with all my love. Okay, next up we have, I think her name is Lisa. She was a cosmetic for the first game. I don't know enough about Lisa, so if I got the name wrong, I'm so sorry. But basically, I've never seen a Lisa in my lobby. I just, for whatever reason, people just don't use her cosmetic, at least in the maps I have. So, and I don't know enough about her in game because I never played the first one to really score her. So she'll get on an automatic indifference because I've not played her, and I've not seen people play her either. So I can't really say, I don't really have much of an opinion. Next up is Felix. He's another one I don't see as much. Like in the beginning, kinda. Some people played him, but not a lot of people. And I like the last time I saw him was like today in a match that I played. Generally, I like from memory, Felixes that I've gone against are just pretty chill. They're just here to play the game, and then they just keep to themselves, do what they need to do, and get out. So I don't really have like a really opinion on him. So he gets like in a different in front of Lisa. All right. Next up is Elodie. Absolutely love Elodie. Elodie is super cool looking, love her freaking fashion. I just overall love Elodie as a character. She is really cool. I don't see many people playing her, probably because of her scream. I've heard it's a bit vexing and it can be a little bit piercing, but it doesn't really bother me at the same time. I think the most annoying scream from memory is probably Steve's for me. It's just the way it sounds. It's just rather irritating. But Elodie's doesn't really bother me. It's a bit much, but not that bad. I don't see a lot of Elodies, which is a shame just because I'm like, oh, I love Elodie. I feel like that's a lot that can be said about some of these characters because I stopped playing like religiously for a good long time. So there are some characters I have not even played or seen in my lobby at all because either they're so new or they had their time during the time that I wasn't playing anymore. But we are going to put Elodie at the top. And she will get all my love. Next up, we have Yunjin. I really think she looks freaking awesome. Like, she's another one of those characters who just like has a lot of nice style. Her haircut is like a boss. She looks really cool, honestly. And the trickster pack overall was a fun pack. I think that's when I started coming back to Dead by Daylight. Really, of course, I took a break after that too. But like, I think that's when got me come back to play because I really liked how the trickster looked, and I really loved how the survivor looked. I've not personally played her, but like I really like seeing her in my lobby, and I honestly anymore I just don't see her as much. But at the same time, I really don't have like a lot I can say on her because I didn't have like a lot of like horrible experiences. But like as far as style goes, she gets like a top rate from me. So like she will get an odd affection, and she will go. Probably even in front of Jane because I really like her. I think she's really awesome. Next up, we have Jill. Honestly, I never really played the Resident Evil games. I'm not really a big zombie game person. Okay, I don't really like zombies. They kind of bore me, and just like I feel like they're overdone, oversaturated. Of course, this is probably around the time Resident Evil was like the big zombie franchise from memory. Correct me if I'm wrong, mind you, but it was like the big zombie franchise back in the day. But I just was not into zombies. But then I played Village, fell in love, and decided, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to give the other series a chance. So I kind of started playing some of them backwards, a little bit out of order. I like played 7 next because it was free, because I had it on my PlayStation already. And then I ended up buying 2 and 3 in a bundle pack and got a really good deal and ended up really enjoying it. And I'm glad I did. And I'm super excited for the remake of 4 because I bought the older version of whatever reason does not work well on the PlayStation. So sad, but luckily I bought it for a few dollars, so it wasn't a huge waste of money. Anyway, back to the tier list. I really like Jill. Jill is overall a good character. I loved her in the game, and I didn't really like seeing her in the lobby because she's just a really cool character. People who play her, they're very stealthy. They're great at looping. They want to help their teammates, and they rarely don't go to their way to mess up the teammates, which is nice to see when the survivors are being nice to each other. It's just like, as a killer, you're just like, why aren't you doing this? Like, you'll be far away from the hook, and someone will be on the hook, and they're not going for them. I'm like, and it makes you regret hooking them. Obviously, you're going to because like you're the killer. That's your objectives and stuff like that. But you're like, why did I even bother putting him on the hook if you're not going to take him off? So I'm just like, But Jill typically does try to go out of her way to help people. Her little freaking firecrackers can be super annoying, but like generally she's a really good character to play against, and I really love Jill. So for that, she gets all my love. Next up, Claire. I didn't absolutely like dislike Claire in the games. I just didn't really have much of an opinion on her, but I don't really see much people using her. So I don't really have a super big opinion. Like, I've seen people play her, but generally I just don't see her as much as I see Jill. Because obviously Jill's, I think, pretty much a fan favorite. So for that, I really have to just put Claire in the indifferent, because I don't really have a huge opinion on her. Next up, Leon. I feel like I'm seeing Leon everywhere. I see him less now, but like when he first released, oh my gosh, everybody was playing him. His hook animation is something else, but we won't talk about that. I feel a lot of people who play Leon is they can tend to be pretty snarky characters, or they're stealthy. There's kind of like they're either one or the other kind of thing, or you could be a bit of both. Oh my gosh, the firecrackers are also really annoying. Uh, but I do generally like seeing people play Leon because he's a cool character, and like while I'm not like in love with him like a lot of people are, generally I do like to see him in my lobby. So for that, we will give him the odd affection. Not quite in front of Steve. Chris Redfield. Honestly, he's another person that I just don't see in my lobby. People just don't use him. And if he ever came in my lobby, it might have been like 1 or 2 times, and I don't really remember. There's just not enough to go on, honestly. So he gets indifference. Some of these people I've just not run into, and it's a shame, of course. Like I love seeing how different people play these characters, and plus, obviously he was a skin for Leon for Resident Evil, so you expect more people to play him, but just not a lot of people did. All right, next up we have Michaela. Absolutely adore her, honestly. Like I love her nerdy witch vibe. Like I am here for it. Her cosmetics are absolutely 100% amazing, and I was just super excited when they released her because I was like, oh, this is a really awesome character. This is like I might even play Survivor, because like she is super cool. I love witch characters, absolutely love them. And I thought the boon hex was both going to be either was going to be a curse, honestly, and a blessing, because I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a pain to go against. I thought it was going to be a pain to go up against. Not as much after they kind of like nerfed some of the ability, but at the same time, I was like, okay, this is a really interesting concept. Survivors get to use hexes now, so I think that's cool. And plus, blue. I was really focused on the blue part. Like I like the blue. The blue was really nice. Michaela characters. I don't really have like a super like huge opinion on Michaela characters. Some of them can be annoying, but also some of them can just be really helpful to the team. But I don't know. I just really love Michaela. She is amazing. So she gets to be put up here with all my love because I absolutely adore her, and I really freaking like her new cosmetic, the new summer outfit that they released for her. So good, so good. Everything about it is just good. Moving on to Jonah. I don't see him a lot either, really. He was probably more used back with the artist pack, but I sadly didn't play a lot, even when the artist was released, because I'm like, she's a cool character. Absolutely love her design and everything. But like, I just didn't really play much. I've seen him in my lobby a little bit, and he's just generally a cool character. Cool guy to be around. Comes in, saves people, and just does his gens, and isn't a nuisance. He's just chill. He's very just laid back. But I don't really have a lot of like opinions, so he also ends up on the indifferent side. We'll put him between Nancy and Felix. Next up, I'm actually going to tell you Sybil is going to go in the indifferent area because, like Chris, not seen her in my lobby. She's just not there. People do not use her. And it's a shame because, obviously Silent Hill franchise, she's in Silent Hill 1, both the movie and the game. So it was like, but yeah, I just don't see enough. So I can't really give a proper judgment. She seems like a pretty cool character. If I can ever freaking play the first game, I will like to see if I enjoy her character. Okay, next up we have James. Okay, so I've only played with one James in my lobby, and that was just very, very recently. I didn't see a lot of people playing James. But I can tell you from my experience in the second game, and I'm basing this off the second game solely, even though I love the second game, I hate James with a burning passion. And if you've played the second game, you know why. You know why. He gets to sit right next to Claudette because... Ugh, James. I do not like James. He is just a character. I just do not like him. He's very pathetic, and it's not just because he's pathetic. It's just stuff he's done. So if you're a James player on the regular, know that it's nothing about you. I'm not calling you out. I just hate the character James. And for a character I've not seen much in my lobby at all, like barely anything, I just have a lot to say on James, okay? I could talk about at length of why I hate James. But this is not a hate on James video. Okay, next up we have Adam. Adam was a really interesting character when he first came out, and he still is an interesting character. I feel like the ability to like unhook yourself, like after you've saved somebody, is pretty cool. Although annoying, because like if Adam's running at you at top speed towards end game, will have been saving people left and freaking right to get that unhook. because he doesn't care if he gets hooked, because he'll get off that hook unless it's like, he's the only one left on the bin. I don't think it's possible, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really have like a lot of bad opinions about him. I think he's an okay character to play as, and I've not seen a lot of annoying people, like maybe early game, but it's been so far back I don't really remember. So I'm kind of like pretty much indifferent to him. But we'll put him, because I think his ability is pretty cool, we'll put him next to top. Okay, and lastly, Yoichi. I cannot say anything about him because I've not had him in my lobby. I just recently started playing again. In time for the dredge, so I've not seen Yoichi. He looks like a really cool character. I'm not really sure about how he works or anything, or if he's annoying, but he's a pretty cool character. But I can't say anything about him because I've not seen him. He's been like a ghost, literally, because I've not seen him. So unfortunately, the indifferent ended up being the biggest one. Okay, well, that is going to be it for the tier video. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. If you liked this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and to keep up to date when I post new videos, hit that bell. Ding. Also, feel free to tell me what you thought in the comments, who you think should have been higher, who should have been lower, who's really annoying to you. And just feel free to share some of your in-game stories. I would absolutely love to hear them. I honestly love hearing people's different opinions on DBD, because there are so many differentiating opinions, and that's really exciting, honestly. Also, have you played against the new killer, the Dredge? What do you think of him? Or have you bought Hattie and been playing her? If so, how have you found her? I'd love to hear about it. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me. I will be making a hunter tier list, of course. I have a lot of opinions on the different hunters I've played as, so you can look forward to that. For now, bye!